Let's get it.
It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Carolinas. Beautiful fall day. And it's actually, I hate to use this word this time of the year, but it's somewhat warm out. Like I said, I hate to use that kind of word because I know it's just not as cool as it has been. But I guess some folks would say this a warmer day because it's in the 70s. And we've been down in the 30s already during the day here in Charlotte as a high. So that's a big transition. But all praises to the Most High, I'm glad to see it. And this is quite motivating to get on out here and get on that bike. I knew, well, I can't say I knew, but I had an idea that it was going to be a transition as far as me working and still getting out here and getting my workout in. Oh boy. I didn't know it was going to be this far in between my getting out and riding my bike, but all praises to the Most High. Because the main focus is, well, not the main focus, but one of my focuses is keeping the weight down. Keeping the weight down. And I praise the Most High for doing that by instructing me on how to eat. And he has raised my metabolism back up. So all praises to the Most High. We don't take none of the glory. But I do know my weight maintained. Or should I say being maintained right at 270. And I bragged about a month ago now about hitting my goal of 265. Now with that said, what that goal is me getting back down to my high school weight, which is right around 250, and plus adding on 10 pounds of muscle. So that would keep me right around 260. But all praises to the Most High, I'm maintaining at 270. That's about 20 pounds over my high school weight. And I say that's not bad at all. But the more active we get as far as work and getting used to the motion, because it's different. It's totally different. But all praises to the Most High. I hope everyone is well and that you too are able to enjoy this beautiful day. I almost said we're gonna turn around, but let's see what we can do. We should put the camera there. Just move over a bit. We can get some of that sun from right there instead of having to turn all the way around. And I don't like that. I don't like my back bent and the shadow that's coming off the back of the camera. So the sun, we know it's not in the shadow's not in the frame. Or do we have a glare from the sun? And as I was saying, I hope everyone is well today. I hope that you too are able to get out as we always in some exercise. Some fresh air. And hopefully the sunshine is in your neck of the woods like it's in mine. And also that you're able to get in at least an hour where you're raising your heart rate. Recommended hour by the American Heart Association. But all praises to the Most High. Sound like I hear somebody come with some drama. But I do have an absolutely great idea today, which goes right along with our theme for this week. And that's being cleaned up for the Master's use. Getting out the residue of sin. And as we've been saying, we're going to do a quick review. As we've been saying this week, the Most High will set you up so that there will be people in your life that will rub you the wrong way. As we said in our notes, but it's actually rubbing you the right way to get out the wrongness in you. And as I also said, it's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you or the other individual can do about it. Pardon me. And as I was saying, we just have to sit there and take it. Sit there and take it and be obedient to what he tells us to do. He's actually working out years that we have indulged in sin. Years that we have indulged in actual mess. So when you spent years in mess, that mess is going to remain on you to a limit until it's cleaned off. Like the text says, wash me with hyssop. And this is coming from our forefather David, King David. Allah bless him. Hallelujah. I wasn't going to say something, but I am. You know how people, you may not, but where I'm from, you'll see people act absolutely stupid. And then they'll see you watching, then they'll try to compose themselves. And I believe I don't want to say that about the young man, but he just had a fit right here in front of me. Like I said, it sounded like somebody was coming with some drama, and he just came right here in front of me, right across about here, and had an absolute fit. He was just shaking and gyrating and jumping, and I mean, just like something in him was shaking him. Then he came on up across in front of me right here, about where the camera is, and you heard my voice as I tried to speak into the camera. And he peeped over and tried to compose himself. Like, you didn't see that, did you? Then he got up right about right here and started back up again. All praises to the Most High. I care not to get too deep into that, but it shows what's in must come out. Hallelujah, that's right on point. What's in you must come out. And in our case, in order for the Most High to use us. See, he can't use us if we acting like that. Oh no. And see, that's actually how the world would see us, with the mess that's still in our lives, that hasn't been cleaned out yet. They would be like, boy, that's messy. Like I said in the prior recording, it's like folks out here leaving the boo-boo on the path for other people to pick up. Now they will pick it up with the bag that they've been given, and I believe that's just because they're scared somebody might see them walking and the dog poop on the path, and they don't pick it up right then. But what they'll do is they'll continue to walk along the path, and then they'll just drop the bag. But that's how it looks when we want people to follow us, and they be on the heels and be like, oh, something don't smell right. Something smells iffy. Then by the time they get up to what they thought they smelled and they actually see it, it's like, oh no, this is some messy stuff in this fella's life. I can't follow this path. But that's why the Most High takes time to clean us up. Just like he did with Paul or Saul. Pardon me. A lot of folks think that after Saul fell off the horse and was blinded by the glorious light of the gospel, they thought he went on into town and had the prophet put his hands on him, and after that he went on into ministry. But no. See, Paul had spent years and years and years studying the text, but he didn't actually know the word. He could be all about the text, but he didn't have a personal relationship with the word of the Most High, Yahusha. So when Yahusha asked him, why you fighting against me, kicking against the prick? Why you fighting against me? He was like, who are you? He didn't know him. But this is just one of the unknown facts of the text of the word. See, a lot of people think they can come into the Most High's kingdom the same way. Oh, boy. They think they can come in with that. What I use sometimes, because I heard another Morey teach like this. He said they come into the kingdom with the old, what did he say? The cemetery doctrine, which he's saying missionary. I mean seminary. But you're actually coming from the cemetery, dead works. And oh yeah, one quick question. We're not gonna lose this train of thought about getting cleaned up before you go into them to be used by the Most High. The Most High asked me a question on the way over from a thought he gave me yesterday from a teaching I heard. And the teacher was actually saying, you can't serve the Most High just with faith. And the Most High echoed that in my heart, just with faith. Basically, you don't have no faith, because what is faith? Yeah, we know what the script says faith is, but what is faith? It's your belief in the Most High that he's going to do what he actually says, right? That's having faith in the Most High. He came back and said to me, well, what about your part? Oh, boy. He was like, this faith thing is a two-way street. If you, depending on me to do something, you always have a part that you must do. You got to meet me halfway. You have an audience with the king. I've given you an audience, so you got to do what I tell you to do in order for me to do what I tell you I'm going to do for you. Oh, boy. This is the truth. And it sounds even better coming out than what he put in my ruach. He was like, having faith in somebody means that you've already dedicated yourself to that individual on the most part. You have some type of relationship with that individual. Okay, say you take your vehicle to a place to change your oil, and you pay them to change your oil. You have faith in them that by you doing your part, that they're going to do their part and change your oil like they say they're going to do. Same thing with the Most High. I just had to slide that in there because, pardon me, the text does say faith without works is dead. So that means you got to put in some type of work. You got to do something in order to get out what you want, what you're investing your faith into. And I believe I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're going to back off and get back into this idea. But I was reviewing this week about the Most High having to clean us up and set us apart for his use. He says in the text, be holy for I am holy. Or be set apart as I am set apart. And you can even go as far as saying, be perfect for I am perfect. Pardon me. And as I said one time before, as we spoke on a thought before, you can be perfect when you have a perfect heart towards the Most High, or perfect heart for him. Now, we're not always going to walk in perfection yet, as Yahusha did. But see, his way of walking in perfection was birthed out of a pure heart for the Most High. As far as doing whatever he told him to do, when he told him to do it. He said in the text, I only do what I hear, what I see and hear from my Father. And that has to be the theme of our lives. And with that said, we're going to jump on into this idea. And it is, what will you do with the potential inside of you? Or we could say, what will you do with the potential placed in you? Pardon me. And this idea is coming from one my mother put out on our family text this morning. And I'm going to read over a few of my notes. And she was speaking on the potential. And I said, that's a great point, Mama, the one of potential. Little did I know the Father saw, matter of fact, planted in me great potential, as the text says, before the foundations of the earth was even set up. I believe that's when we were created, before we were formed in our mother's womb. And we see in Ephesians 1, 4 through 6, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundations of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, set apart, holy, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. According to his will, he instilled in us the potential. That's what predestined means. He already designated for us to have a certain amount of potential or power, which is through and in his word. I say all of that because the Most High will not put an investment in bad stock or a bad stock. Also, just as a great investor, he keeps his eye on his investment. The text says in Psalms 139, 13, 14, 15, and 16, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. And this is seeing him working on his investment to keep it up to par or to put it out. We'll just say working on his investment. Like I say, watch it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion. See, this is the part also we could take this as how he has to separate us once he gets our attention, just like with Saul. He had to knock him off his high horse with that beam of light, which was himself. He had to give him a glimpse of who he was in opposition with, the word. And then he put him into seclusion for a while to learn as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. See, Paul was woven back together after he had to be broken. He put him back together with the Ruach HaKodesh, teaching him and showing him the right way. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. And as I wrote, so in all reality, he was investing in himself. Just like the text says, for his own good pleasure, according to his will, according to his desire to prosper his kingdom. He's a great king. He was investing in himself, the part of us that he placed in us to be. See, that part of us that is eternal is a piece of the Most High himself. That's actually his potency that's in us. You get that from the word potential, but he is potency. Potent. That means power. So in all reality, he was investing in himself. The part of us he placed in us to be, and that's to be who he said we will become from the start. I'm so excited because I see the change that held my potential back and down being broken in every area of my life. Even those dark secret sins that I didn't want to expose to nobody have been exposed and are being dealt with. So I'm being freed to be the real me I was manufactured to be or created to be. And see, I'm talking about what we've been talking about all week. Being placed around folks that's gonna rub you the wrong way. So you're being sharpened, like the text says, iron sharpens iron. You've been created into the image of the dear son. You're being formed into the image of the dear son. We're gonna put that script in there too, because that's what I'm trying to speak out. The seed or the potential is transferred, like we said before, by the spoken word of the Most High. And the text says that his word will not return back to him void or without accomplishment of the mission, or accomplishing what it was sent out to do, the mission, your life. I like to look at it as we are words, just as the Son is the Word. He was sent out to save his people, and he is still accomplishing his mission in and through us as he sends us out to our different missions. So what will you do with the potential in you? Or should I say, placed in you? And I do thank the Most High for dealing with me. See, a lot of people don't want to be dealt with. Hallelujah, but I choose to be dealt with because, when, like I said on yesterday's recording, I'm all in with it. Like my friend Isaiah, Most High rest his soul, I don't have no more time for shucking and jiving, playing those games. Is he like that little hook we just sung out? See, when the Most High really gets his hands on you, oh boy, there ain't no more time for playing games. No, then when he actually get up in you and start operating and working you into a new creation, what he's doing is actually unfolding you and cutting back all of them layers where you have indulged over the years in sin, and the ones that so easily besetting you, all of that's layered. Like they say, your potential is held down. This is what is held down by. That seed he placed in you is covered up, and it's actually sitting there dying and germinating. Hallelujah. So it's never really in danger. But there is a day of opportunity that we have to take advantage of. But he has to open you up, gently peel back each layer, and remove that mess out of your life. And how did this come to pass, right? How is this operation done? By his word. He speaks, and then another person will come, and they'll rub up against you the wrong way, which you think is the wrong way at the time, but it's actually peeling back another layer. See, that word is sharp. Like we said on yesterday's recording, I believe, sharper than a two-edged sword. But see, a lot of times he has to get in personal and jab you with the poker, or operate on you with the scalpel, gently. But sometimes he come in lopping off arms, lopping off legs, lopping off toes, pun intended, to get your attention. See, that wasn't the final straw in my life. That wasn't going to get it all out. See, he had to start, after he got my attention, sat me down, started teaching me, then he started introducing me to other folks. The ones that, the other iron folks, the ones that iron sharpens iron. And they started shaving off them rough edges. Now the potential is coming out even more daily, because every time he brings something up, I say, yes, sir. I drop my head, I'm not there yet. I'm not gonna never be there until I get before him, and he say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Robert, you did good. See, that's all I care about right now. See, I have to, like I say, indulge in all my life in mess. I'm like, there ain't nothing else out there for me. I'm not looking for nothing else out there. And it's being presented, trust me. It's being presented. But the main point is focus. What are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? And what's your motive? See, that's the key right there. What is your motive? Are you searching for more mess to get into? Are you trying to finagle a situation or finesse another individual to get what you want out of them? Or are you all in for the Most High? See, that's the key. Are you all in for him like he's all in for you? See, he was all in for us when he invested into us from the beginning. See, that text says he chose us from the beginning. Pardon me. He chose us from the beginning and said, okay. Basically, I like to look at it as this, okay? I need this to happen at this time in my history, in my plans. So let me create that. There you go, I chose that. That's what I chose to handle this mission. So now I got to get this part into the mission. So I'm gonna put him into his mother's womb, form and create him there. See, the first thing he's creating us is in his mind. Oh boy. See, that's where he saw us. It said he saw us from the beginning. So he saw us in his mind's eye and said, that's what I'm gonna need for that mission. So I'm gonna pull that together. That's in there. Now it's time to set this tool into operation. So I put him in his mama womb, formed, fit him for everything I need, spiritually and physically. And there we have it. And then we're born into the Most High's plans. See, this is the potential that he put in us from the get-go. So the question is, what are you going to do with your potential? Are you going to take it for granted like yesterday's thought with the fellow that died before his time? Every time I think about that, I get a little sad on the inside because I know it didn't have to be that way. I took this fella out on jobs with me when I was still out there doing my thing. I still had my own company. And we were painting an apartment complex, a few of the homes, because they was like, individual homes. And he helped me with one, and he used to help me cut the grass on that property. And see, when I think back about individuals that were in my life and they have passed on, what could I have done more? And if there was something I could have done more. And see, I had to stop myself then because I started hoping, wishing, and praying that I could have been in a certain place that I wasn't ready for yet. And I have to remember the Most High gives us all opportunity. So that's why we're asking this question today. What are you going to do with your potential? Is it going to be wasted on a drug that goes in your nose and gets you amped and what was I saying? Manufactured high when you could be getting high off life, period. Just like this is my high nowadays. And I shouldn't even say high, but this is what motivates me. This is my satisfaction these days. Getting out here and doing what my Father tells me to do. Living up to my potential. Walking it out as he leads me, as he guides me. Saying, yes sir, Father, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Okay, let's get on this bike. Most High willing, get us a good amount of miles in. $10 would be nice, but I learned not to put no kind of number on it, because we're riding with him, just like an old rapper used to say, I'm rolling with Rush, but no, I'm rolling with the Most High. What about you today? Are you saying yes, Abba Yah, or yes, Father, completely? Have you completely sold out to him? Has he gotten you to that, what was that road that Paul was on? Damascus Road. I believe it was Damascus, where he knocked him off his high horse. See, Paul was up on a high horse. We're gonna walk on that idea. And if you will listen closely, he will tell you why he was on the high horse. he was basically telling you about his stock. Oh boy. Or what grade of stock he was from. And the best of schools he was taught out of, or taught from. He said he was the Hebrew of Hebrews, I believe. A Benjamite, I believe. Taught by the best in the world's eye. And see, that's how folks is going to them cemetery schools. Seminary, I know, but one of my mores that I listened to, he would say cemeteries. Being taught up in the cemetery. And basically you're teaching death. Because your doctrine is doctrines of devils, of the devil. Hallelujah. But all praises to the Most High. See, that's what I was trying to keep from happening. Because I know that's giving me some wind noise. That's what I was looking for before we started back out towards the car. And there it go in my pocket. Decided to put a little cushion on the top of the camera before I put it into the base, sort of keep the wind noise down. But like I said, all praises to the Most High. What you gonna do with the potential He's placed in you? Anything? But He put it there. It's up to us to bring it out. And we do that by being obedient to what He tells us to do. Let's get on this bike.